A while ago, I came across a video of this Spanish woman living in the US talking about how kids are incorporated into life in Spain. And she was describing this like typical scene at a wedding. Everyone's partying hard till 4 a.m. and around midnight, the kids get sleepy. So you simply take 2 chairs, face them to one another, and you place the sleeping child in that makeshift bed and you garnish them with a little napkin blanket. And this felt so warm and familiar to me, much like a lot of what I've learned about Spanish culture through Jaime. And then a few days ago, I was looking through old family albums, and what should I come across but this picture from my childhood of a casual neighborhood hangout showcasing this exact technique. Which is all to say, maybe I'm Spanish. In fact, maybe I am Spain. But this big realization and all the influence that comes with it hardly came in handy because one, my DMs asking Mark Cucurella to consider tying his hair up in at least a half ponytail for the sake of peripheral vision, ignored. My hopes of strong-arming my way into MetLife Stadium for the final without a ticket, thwarted by my fear of those pink New Jersey transit trains that scream like banshees. Okay, no problem. We'll have a watch party at home. We'll make a paella so good that when its vapors waft up to MetLife Stadium, Cucurella will have to tie his hair up, lest the hair interrupt the fragrances from landing efficiently on his olfactory bulbs. And my final problem is that the watch party is tomorrow and we don't have our uniforms. And even for me, as the sovereign nation of Spain, expedited shipping for football jerseys is about a week out. Thankfully, what I lack in foresight, I also lack in standards, so I will tap into the elf within and the elf from whence I came to hack together some jerseys in one afternoon. This is a Cricut machine which I'm using to cut out vinyl in the shape of the Spain logo and the vertical stripy background, which I whipped together in PowerPoint. That's my preferred graphic design software over Photoshop any day. Let's fight in the comments.
Respira, respira, respira. El teléfono suena, mi pana se queja, la cosa va mal, la vida le pesa, que vivir así ya no le interesa, que seguir.
This part, it's called weeding, is where you peel out the negative space of the image. It is so laborious, and I think I'm making it look so unpleasant here that you can rest assured that this is not sponsored by any of the machinery you see here.
Todo me parece bonito. Bonito. Todo me parece bonito. Bonita la paz, bonita la vida, bonito volver a nacer cada día, bonita la verdad cuando no suena mentira, bonita la amistad, bonita la risa, bonita la gente cuando hay calidad, bonita la gente que no se arrepiente, que gana y que pierde, que habla y no miente, bonita la gente, por eso yo digo bonito, todo me parece bonito. Bonito, todo me parece bonito.
The most treacherous part of this project is doing this Frankenstein maneuver with a red and blue t-shirt of the same size so that we can have blue sleeves. This part would have been a huge flop were it not for my mom's painstaking efforts to get the edges to match up perfectly despite the horrible job I did cutting them.
Qué bonito que te va.
This is going to be something 40 minutes later.
Bonito, todo me parece bonito. Amar la mañana, la casa, la zamba, la tierra, la paz y la vida que pasa. Bonito, todo me parece bonito. Tu cama, tu salsa, la mancha en la espalda, tu cara, tus ganas el fin de semana. Bonita la gente que viene y que va, bonita la gente que no se detiene, bonita la gente que no tiene edad, que escucha, que entiende, que tiene y que da. Bonito porte, bonito pere, bonita la rumba, bonito José, bonita la brisa que no tiene brisa, bonito este día, respira, respira.
And on top of that, she gallantly sacrificed the blue sleeves for her own shirt for the sake of time. There's a lot I could have done to make these jerseys better. Folding in the edges before sewing, ironing, measuring, and I would be disingenuous if I blamed not doing much of those things on the time crunch. The truth is that I will always prioritize how fun a project is over the quality of the outcome. So any step that felt stressful or boring, I swiftly punted out the window. In the end, not too shabby as long as you don't come too close. But if you do come close, rest assured I shall grab you by the jaw and gleefully glide your face across the t-shirt, pointing out every tiny flaw to you, and then stare at you rabidly, waiting for you to say, "What? No, I would never have noticed those details. This looks so professional. Woo!"
Cuando se está bonito, qué bonito que se está.
I've been seeing a lot of gatekeeping happening this World Cup season, and I don't like it one bit, no sorry. I mean, sure, I've been doing some myself, but only against those obnoxious Fox 1 commentators being mean to Cabo Verde. My qualifications for discussing the World Cup are that since 1995, I have sat by the TV and watched every single World Cup game with extreme intensity. And yes, much of that fervor was directed to a simultaneous crochet project and whatever I had in my headphones. But when everyone started screaming, I'd always look up and get the gist of what was happening. Secondly, I have played hundreds of matches myself growing up in Nairobi, where football is life. And yes, again, I was so incompetent that sometimes in the middle of the game, I would sit down on the field and start braiding my hair, but none of my teammates would complain because they knew as well as I did that everyone's better off if I'm not involved. But once you've put in that kind of elbow grease, you really know what to look for in this beautiful sport. So let me walk you through my personal list of the most exciting moments of this year's tournament. I like this moment because one goalie kicks it directly into the hands of the other goalie. Brands are always bragging about cutting out the middlemen, so this seems like something to celebrate. But in particular, I just really like this butt scratch. Start off with this one to calibrate your expectations. This is the English goalkeeper against Mexico. Look at how this man sends his body flying. I'm sorry, I wouldn't. It's crazy how these folks have trained away their survival instincts. This is the best goal of the tournament this year. I think this is Jude Bellingham using his body like it's a pool cue. He goes totally horizontal and heads the ball in. Once again, why are we signing up for concussions like this? Entertainment. This is all the way back in the group stages. Colombia, Portugal. Some of these, okay, listen, I know I'm being kind of problematic, right? I'm actually just taking delight in these players getting hurt. But let's be honest, what is sports if not a series of celebrations of grave injuries? While everyone's checking on him, Kukureya is like, guys, he's injured. Please focus on him. Stop talking about my hair. I just really like this choreography here. Here's another header goal, but I'm highlighting it because of how adorably their arms are linked like schoolgirls. Too freaking cute. And chasing it with a little heart sign. Here's a moment when a Belgian player runs into the Spanish goalkeeper. But all's forgiven. So sweet. Finally, I wanted to leave you with another amazing save. Oh. The other day, my mom and I were wondering what they do during halftime. Mother says she would want a shower and fresh clothes, maybe some chai and a game of Scrabble. I agree, but I feel like I would even add in like a sushi bar, because after 45 minutes of scrambling around, I'd be feeling quite peckish. Or if the budget allowed, maybe even a more customized setup where they shape the sushi based on the size of your mouth, like Jiro did in Jiro Dreams of Sushi. If you haven't watched Jiro Dreams of Sushi, it's a documentary about an 85-year-old chef who runs a 3 Michelin star sushi restaurant out of a train station in Tokyo. I've watched it a few times spaced out in the past 14 years, and each time I've had wildly different opinions based on where I've been in life when I watched it. I think first time I saw it, I was a freshman in college, super high strung, gotta do everything, got a quadruple major. Life's only purpose is the relentless pursuit of domination, so Jiro, don't you dare give your son that restaurant until he perfects the rice, even if it takes him 40 years. And then the next time I watched it was like 5-ish years later, and college had really humbled me, and my perspective had changed. I felt like Jiro needed to take a chill pill. lifestyle. Perhaps diversify his hobbies a bit. Stop putting such impossible pressure on himself and his son based on rigid constraints entirely of his own making. And now more recently, my thinking has shifted again. That anyone should be so lucky to find something that they dream about, like Jiro dreams about sushi. And if you find yourself caring about something so much that it feels like it's giving your life purpose, giving you energy during the day and allowing you to sleep at night, then you should run headfirst into it and never stop. Even if you're 100 years old like Jiro is now. And in fact, maybe it is that obsession and that purpose that gets you to 100.
¿Cómo quieres ser mi amiga? Si por ti daría la vida. Si confundo tu sonrisa por camelos si me miras. Razón y piel, difícil mezcla. Agua y sed, serio problema. ¿Cómo quieres ser mi amiga? Me perdería si confundo tus caricias por camelos y me mimas. Pasión y ley, difícil mezcla.
Yes, you are. Haven't yet flipped it over, but you're gonna see a nice change of color in a moment.
Serio problema cuando uno tiene sed.
Unlike me, Jaime has a very strong moral code, and never is that more annoying than during the World Cup, when he sides with the VAR and the referees' mean decisions, even if it's against the team he's supporting. Let's put him to the test now. Okay, I can ask you questions?
Go ahead. Yeah.
If I was a player and you were the referee,
Yes.
and I put a banana peel in front of the striker of the other team, would you call me out and give me a foul?
No, I mean, if you're doing it because you think they might enjoy the banana peel, I think that's actually a nice courtesy.
Okay, let's say you were the referee and I'm a player, and I get in a fight with someone from the other team. They're being annoying, so I push them out and I say, would you give me a red card?
Well, I mean, I think it really depends on who's right. Who's right in the argument.
So you hate me. Final question. My team is 1 goal down and stressed, and I want to boost their morale. So I go up behind the star player of the other team and I pull down their shorts and then I run away.
Yeah.
My team is so elated by everyone in the stadium laughing at the other team that we quickly go and we score a goal. Do you reverse that goal?
No, I'm pretty sure if that's not the same player, you're just like pulling down somebody's pants, but they don't have the ball. So that's not how you gain possession of the ball, right? Yeah. No, that's absolutely not something you need to reverse. Now, would I give you a red card? No.
Okay, muchas gracias.
Qué bonito que te va. Qué bonito que te va. Cuando te va bonito. Qué bonito que te va.
I think it's getting there. It really is.
Bonito. Todo me parece bonito. Amar la mañana.
That's exactly the attitude. That's exactly.
Bonito. Todo me parece bonito. Cama, tu salsa, la mancha en la espalda, tu cara, tus ganas el fin de semana. Bonita la gente que viene y que va, bonita la gente que no se detiene, bonita la gente que no tiene edad, que escucha mucha que queda bonito, José, bonito, pero bonita la rumba, bonito, José, bonita la brisa que no tiene brisa.
This is the best part of the crust.
Those artichokes are delicious. Dude, might I have a bone?
Oh yeah, of course.
La gente que estuvo y no está bonito. Todo me parece
So good.
This is so good. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be 4 seconds if you guys are still
bonito, qué bonito que te va. Qué bonito que se está cuando se está bonito. Qué bonito que se está. Qué bonito que te va cuando te va bonito. Qué bonito que te va. Qué bonito que se está cuando se está bonito. Qué bonito que se está.
Oh, that was cool. Go again.
Oh, tilapia.